Hi everyone, Summer here with Astaria Sin, and these are all decks that we are going to be going through today to talk about my romantic gothic lit November challenge. Remember, I'm only reading 2 books and I wanted to try some tarot with it, so I gotta pick my decks. Now, I don't know how many decks I really want to use, but I figured we could go through these decks that I chose. These are like the darkest decks I own. Other than what is it, the moon one, Deviant Moon, but I don't really find the Deviant Moon to be very gothic. Not that I find maybe some of these other ones to be gothic either. I just thought they would have more gothic elements maybe than the others. I don't know about the black and white Rider-Waite though. I just kind of have it in there because gothic is very, I don't know, dark and dreary, and the black and white has no color. So I just wanted to go through these and see if we could figure out which ones I might choose to use. Okay, so I wanted to start out with the Crow Tarot. Let's see if we could find anything in here that might even remotely be gothic. I mean, other than the crows, right? Because the crows are kind of gothic. They have a gothic element to them. But I just don't feel like, I guess this could go gothic. Oh, some of these are upside down. Sorry. It just happens. Just happens. Holy cow, what did I do to this deck? Maybe I just shuffled it wrong. Yeah, so there's not like high arches and giant cathedrals in the background, or other than the crows, I don't know, is that a cathedral? Maybe, I don't know. Other than the crows and maybe some just dark looking elements, I mean, maybe? Maybe that's as far as it goes. Would that be a cathedral back there? That's the star card, so I don't really think so. See, and that's kind of dark and kind of twisted for gothic. Even though I'm doing it in romance, there's still some terror elements that probably go in there. Not like terrifying, but kind of, your brain plays tricks on you. That's like the point of gothic, which, by the way, I started reading or started watching the new series. Like, this has kind of got maybe gothic like elements in it, or this one even. I started watching the new TV series, The Fall of the House of Usher. Oh my goodness. Me and my husband, we don't do like a lot of horror. So that totally like creeped us out. I think we got to maybe episode 5 and I'm not sure we're going to end up finishing it. There's a lot of creep factor there. The last one we watched, and if you haven't watched it, well, you're going to hear a little bit about this, but the last one we watched was the cat one, and if anybody knows, you know, okay? We have a cat, and that kind of creeped us out. Okay, so really the crow one doesn't really seem very gothic or gothic romance to me. So I'm going to pass probably on the crow, the crow tarot. But I guess it would do in a pinch if you don't have a gothic deck that you could possibly use for this. Okay. The black and white tarot. Again, this is kind of one of those ones where it could work depending. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of color to it, but it is classic because it's by Pamela Colman Smith. So you're going to get some of that old-timey stuff in it, which you would with any RWS, but the other RWS all kind of have color and everything to them, whereas this is black and white. So I guess in conjunction with the Crow Tarot, this might be something that could be used in a pinch if you're just looking for maybe a darker deck. I don't know that this deck reads darker, but the fact that there's no color in it, it messes with my intuition a little bit. So I don't know, maybe that in itself is a little bit gothic. Because, it's messing with my brain a tiny bit. All right, the next one is Fairy Enchantments by Ian Daniels, and this one's iffy for me too. Like, he's got some really great gothic art, and I don't actually own his vampire tarot. He has a vampire tarot one. This is an oracle, and it can kind of be used as a tarot, but sorry, I need a drink. It's kind of cold here, and it's snowing. But he does have, like, some of his art has a really cool, Let's see if I can not make it shine. Some of his art kind of has that gothic feel to it like this. It kind of just looks a little more on the gothic side. But I don't know, it's got a lot of like really high fae energy too. And more, less goth and more like pagan goth maybe, or fairy goth. But not necessarily like gothic. Like there's no steeples, there's no castles. I mean, there's some knights and some kings. I guess there's that. This one, I guess there's one that, you know, kind of has that gothic feel to it. Let's see what else we got going on here. I just don't think this is gonna work out. I just don't think this one is gonna do it. I mean, that's kind of cool. That's kind of gothic-y, right? And she's definitely got a twist, so maybe she's a little gothic-y too, you know, gothic romancy. This one for sure, this is great. This is a fantastic card for that gothic. Oh, look at her. Yeah, totally her too. Like, I think his vampire deck would be great for the gothic response to this. So yeah. So this one's like a high maybe. If I want to use an oracle deck maybe kind of thing, but it's still, I don't know, it just doesn't quite fit for me. It just really isn't gonna, I don't know. This is my maybe, okay? So we're gonna put this over here for maybe, because the other two I kind of just put to the side. Okay, so the next one I have is Dark Mansions, and most of us know this, right? But have you really looked at it in the idea that, you know, maybe it's gothic lit style tarot that we could use with gothic readings? I don't know. It looks gothic. Like, that's totally in it, right? We got that. That's not. Maybe. That's kind of cathedral feel. Some cathedral feel stuff going on. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. That's got like old-timey London-y kind of feeling. That's kind of gothic. Definitely like nightmarish. Yes. Maybe not that one so much. So really, like, it's really iffy. I was expecting more. So maybe this one, you mean you got the castle in the background. It's not dark and twisty, but and this could work too, maybe. Not that one so much. Or that one. That's what I really like that star card. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have too much. I expected like way more twisty gothic stuff going on in here. But again, I haven't used this deck like overly amount. Like this last month in October is when I just basically started using it. And that's because I couldn't shuffle with it to save my life. So that's kind of gothic. That's kind of gothic. Maybe that can go gothic. It can go goth, right? Oh my goodness. So that could work. That could work. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think this could potentially fall into a gothic romance territory for me when I'm reading my books. Oh, look at that. I like that. That could totally be. Yeah, see? Maybe. This one might actually work. So far, it is the closest one that I have to any kind of real gothic lit elements to it, which is those gargoyles and higher society, grotesqueness, the cathedrals or castles, the darkness. All right, so this one is, so far this one's got the gold, right? It's on it. It's there. It's ready for it. All right, so that one is, I guess, in my maybe pile, right? My maybe pile. Oh, go together. Go together. There we go. Okay. All right. The last one I have is the Royo Tarot. Now, if you are not into some a little bit more erotic looking artwork, like it's not erotic per se, but some elements are. There are some naked people in here and stuff. So if you don't like that kind of thing, don't watch for this deck. Because it is definitely a much darker deck. It's like one of the darkest decks that I own. And it's Louis Royo's art is like monsters and women. Like that's his thing. So the backs already give you like a total gothic feel, right? Let's see. Okay, so we got a castle already going on in the background, horse, men fighting for it. Oh yeah, look at that. That has some gothic elements in there. Debauchery, you know, stuff like that. I think this could work. Look at this. This has serious potential too. Oh yeah, and she's like standing on a gargoyle. Look at her! Oh my gosh, and she's got like the head in her hand. Okay, so I mean, consider the fact that it's romantic gothic, right? And it's kind of like that mind screw that you kind of get, right? That is totally like it just feels that like I don't know. This is the Fool card even. So interesting. So interesting. So I think this could totally rock gothic romance for me. I think it could. I mean, it's got some other stuff in it too, obviously, but I think this is my closest gothic romance deck that I own. For sure. So I might end up with this one and maybe the Dark Mansion. I might try both of them, like read one book with one and one book with the other. Or I might just keep one deck. It just really is going to be a variable on what I'm feeling as I'm going and how I'm going to apply the tarot to the books. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like cards for each character or if I'm going to do it for plot or what or how I'm going to work that out, or if I'm just going to do like a spread each time I read and see where the energy is. I have not quite figured that out yet, but once I do, I will share it with you probably at the end of November on how I apply it to the book. But yes, I think this one definitely has a lot of gothic romance potential for me, and it might be the one I end up actually using. So these are my choices. These are finally down to the Dark Mansions and the Louis Royo Tarot. I think that I will, the Louis Royo Dark Tarot. I think I'm going to bypass the Ian Daniels Fairy Enchantment Tarot or Oracle just because, I don't know, it doesn't quite feel right. Not quite right. Not quite right. All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I tried to come to terms with my Gothlit November decks. And I hope you guys have a very great day.